Carl Sagan dedicated his life to aliens. He co-founded the SETI Institute. He designed the Arecibo Message. He organized the Voyager Golden Records. He wrote Contact. He said extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. This man lived to answer perhaps the greatest question in human history. Are we alone in the universe? And he was the first person to try to answer this question using rigorous scientific methods. Carl Sagan wasn't just an astronomer. He was a visionary. He understood that finding alien intelligence wouldn't just be a scientific achievement, it would be a revolution that would completely transform humanity's cosmic perspective. SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. This acronym summarizes Carl Sagan's life philosophy. Search, listen, hope. But at the same time, remain skeptical. Never compromise on scientific rigor. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Carl Sagan's SETI journey began in childhood. Growing up in Brooklyn, looking at the night sky and wondering, are there other worlds, other beings looking back? This childhood wonder transformed into a lifelong obsession. When he became an astronomy professor at Cornell University, he began to approach SETI scientifically. If we can transmit, they can transmit. If we can receive, they can receive. The logic was simple, the implications profound. The story begins in 1960 with Frank Drake, Project Ozma. At Green Bank Observatory, using an 85-foot radio telescope, Drake listened to two nearby star systems, Epsilon Eridani and Tau Ceti. After 150 hours of observation, he detected no artificial signals, but the beginning had been made. Drake tuned the telescope to the hydrogen line frequency, 1420 MHz, a universal constant. Any technical civilization would know this frequency. It's called the water hole, between hydrogen and hydroxyl lines, the quiet region of the radio spectrum. Carl Sagan immediately became involved in this pioneering effort. At the Green Bank meeting in 1961, they formulated the Drake equation, NRR strex FP, tex NE tex FL, tex IV sir, AVAs. This equation attempted to estimate how many communicating civilizations might exist in our galaxy. This meeting was a watershed moment in SETI history. It legitimized the scientific approach. It identified parameters. It developed systematic search strategies. Carl Sagan's enthusiasm was infectious. Using optimistic estimates, Sagan calculated 1 million civilizations. In his Cosmos book he wrote, "The Milky Way galaxy may contain 1 million worlds harboring technical civilizations far in advance of ours." Where did this confidence come from? Carl Sagan's cosmic perspective. He knew the universe was 13.8 billion years old. Earth was only 4.6 billion years old. This meant civilizations could have evolved billions of years before us. Technological development is exponential. Just a few million years difference could create enormous capability gaps. He referenced the Kardashev scale. Type 1 civilizations harness planetary energy. Type 2 harness stellar energy. Type 3 harness galactic energy. We're currently Type 0.7. Advanced civilizations might be Type 2 or 3. A Type 2 civilization could construct Dyson spheres, completely capturing stellar energy. Type 3 civilizations could use entire galaxies as power sources. Detection methods were needed for these signatures. But in the 1960s, SETI technology was primitive. Single-dish radio telescopes, limited frequency coverage, manual data analysis. False alarms were frequent. Background noise was problematic. Systematic searches were difficult. Early SETI searches were hampered by terrestrial interference. TV stations, military radar, microwave ovens. Distinguishing artificial signals from human technology was challenging. Radio frequency interference, RFI, was a major problem. Carl Sagan decided to institutionalize SETI. He secured NASA funding. He organized international cooperation. He began joint efforts with the Soviet Union. Despite the Cold War, scientific cooperation was possible. The Soviet SETI program actually preceded American efforts. In 1960, Iosif Shklovsky and Nikolai Kardashev were using radio astronomy for SETI. Despite political tensions, scientific exchange continued. Carl Sagan made visits to Moscow. He collaborated with Soviet astronomers. SETI, Communication with Extraterrestrial Intelligence, was a joint project. Both sides recognized that SETI's importance transcended politics. The breakthrough moment came in the 1970s. The Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico was the world's largest radio telescope at the time, 305 meters in diameter. Enormous collecting area, unprecedented sensitivity. Carl Sagan obtained permission to use this facility for SETI. Arecibo was the perfect SETI instrument. Large dish, sensitive receivers, stable platform, tropical location enabling all sky coverage. In 1974 came a historic event, the Arecibo Message. Carl Sagan and Frank Drake designed a pictorial message, binary code representing human knowledge. It was transmitted to the M13 globular cluster, 25,000 light-years away. The message contents were carefully chosen, numbers 1 to 10 in binary, the atomic numbers of hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, life's essential elements, DNA structure showing the genetic basis of life, a human figure with height reference, a solar system diagram showing Earth's position, a representation of the Arecibo telescope itself. The transmission lasted 3 minutes. It briefly generated 1,000 terawatts of power. It was the strongest signal Earth had ever deliberately transmitted to space, a symbolic gesture demonstrating human technological capability. The message would arrive at M13 in 25,000 years. An answer would take another 25,000 years, a total 50,000-year communication cycle. Carl Sagan obviously wasn't expecting an immediate reply. The purpose was proof of concept. This message was symbolic, a technical demonstration. We are here, we are intelligent, we can communicate. International media attention was enormous. Public imagination was captured. SETI was entering mainstream consciousness. Critics argued the message was premature. Stephen Hawking later warned about advertising Earth's location, but Carl Sagan believed the benefits outweighed the risks. Advanced civilizations probably already knew we were here. Simultaneously, Sagan was developing passive SETI. Listen, don't broadcast. Search for signals from advanced civilizations. Comprehensive sky surveys. Multiple frequency bands. Pattern recognition algorithms. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, systematic SETI searches expanded. Ohio State University's Big Ear Telescope conducted an 8-year continuous survey. The Harvard-Smithsonian Mega-Channel Extraterrestrial Assay Project. Soviet SETI efforts were expanding. International coordination improved. The IAU, International Astronomical Union, established a SETI commission. Protocols for signal verification. Procedures for announcing discoveries. Scientific standards were maintained. Then came the famous event of 1977, the WOW signal. The Big Ear Telescope detected a 72-second anomalous signal. Jerry Amon was on the night shift. He saw a narrowband signal on the computer printout and wrote WOW in the margin. The signal characteristics were intriguing. 1420.456 MHz frequency, hydrogen's characteristic emission line, a universal constant any technical civilization would know, 30 times stronger than background noise, perfect narrow bandwidth, source location, Sagittarius constellation. Follow-up observations were immediately attempted. The signal never repeated. Different telescopes searched the same location. Nothing was detected. A natural explanation was possible but uncertain. Carl Sagan was excited but cautious. The WOW signal was exactly the type of detection SETI was looking for, but a single event was insufficient. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Repeatability was essential. The WOW signal remains SETI's most famous detection, neither confirmed nor debunked. A permanent mystery in SETI history. Carl Sagan's approach was vindicated. Rigorous analysis, healthy skepticism. In the 90s, millions learned about the alien intelligence search for the first time. Public imagination was captured. Science fiction was meeting science fact. The Contact novel was published in 1985. Carl Sagan's masterpiece, a realistic portrayal of the SETI discovery process. A signal from the Vega system. Mathematical content proving intelligence. International cooperation and conflict. Personal transformation through cosmic contact. The novel was meticulously researched. Signal detection procedures were accurate. Scientific protocols were realistic. International political dynamics were explored. Religious implications were examined. Personal costs were considered. The signal's mathematical content, prime numbers, then more complex sequences, showed universal intelligence markers. No natural process generates mathematical progressions. Clear artificial origin indicators. The novel explored first contact protocols. Who speaks for Earth? How do we interpret alien messages? What do we share with aliens about humanity? These questions are still debated today. Contact became the template for realistic alien communication. It influenced subsequent science fiction. It set standards for SETI portrayal. It showed both scientific rigor and human drama. In the 1980s, government SETI funding was cut. Senator William Proxmire's Golden Fleece Award. Political pressure. Budget constraints. Little green men stigma. Carl Sagan was disappointed but undeterred. The NASA SETI program was cancelled in 19... The high-resolution microwave survey was terminated. Political opposition was overwhelming. Congress eliminated funding completely. Private support became essential. In 1984, the SETI Institute was founded. Carl Sagan, Frank Drake, Jill Tarter, a private research organization, Corporate sponsorship, individual donations, contact novel royalties contributed. The SETI Institute's mission was comprehensive: scientific search for extraterrestrial intelligence, multidisciplinary approach, astronomy, biology, chemistry, computer science, international collaboration, public education. Simultaneously, Sagan was working on the Voyager Golden Records, messages to potential alien civilizations, music, sounds, images representing human culture, greetings from the children of planet Earth. The Golden Records were a collaboration with Anne Druyan, later Sagan's wife. The creative process brought together diverse human expressions: Bach, Chuck Berry, whale songs, baby cries, universal human experiences. The Golden Records embodied Carl Sagan's optimism. Maybe the Voyager spacecraft would be encountered by alien intelligence millions of years in the future. Maybe our messages would be preserved long after Earth was gone. Cosmic time capsules. Both Voyager spacecraft are now in interstellar space, carrying human messages to the cosmic community. Carl Sagan's hope for eventual alien contact traveling beyond the solar system. In the 1990s, SETI technology was revolutionized. Digital signal processing, massive computational power, internet connectivity, SETI at home distributed computing, millions of volunteers analyzing data. SETI at home was developed at Berkeley. Home computers processed radio telescope data during idle time. It was a pioneering citizen science project. 5 million participants worldwide. Distributed computing power was unprecedented. Project Phoenix was a comprehensive targeted search. 1,000 nearest sun-like stars, multiple frequency bands, sophisticated interference rejection, International Telescope Network. Jill Tarter was project director, with Sagan as scientific advisor, but the results were disappointing. 0 confirmed artificial signals. Upper limits on alien transmissions were established. The galaxy was either empty or aliens weren't broadcasting in our direction. Carl Sagan died in 1996. A profound loss to the SETI community, but his legacy continued. Contact, the movie, was released in 1997. Public interest was sustained. The movie starred Jodie Foster as Ellie Arroway. The character was inspired by Jill Tarter and Carl Sagan's vision. Realistic science was portrayed. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence was emphasized. International cooperation and conflict were explored. Post-Sagan, SETI evolved rapidly. The internet age enabled citizen science. SETI at home demonstrated distributed computing potential. The Berkeley SETI Research Center expanded searches. Technology capabilities expanded exponentially. In 2015, Yuri Milner announced Breakthrough Listen, a $100 million 10-year commitment, the most comprehensive SETI search ever. Advanced instrumentation, AI data analysis, real-time processing. Breakthrough Listen targets were ambitious: 1 million nearest stars, 100 nearest galaxies, the entire galactic plane, radio and optical SETI, techno-signature searches. AI is revolutionizing SETI analysis. Deep learning algorithms trained on known interference signatures. Pattern recognition continuously improving. Real-time classification of candidate signals. 8 years of Breakthrough Listen results. 0 confirmed artificial signals. Millions of candidates investigated. All explained by terrestrial interference, natural phenomena, or instrumental artifacts. The silence continues. Why? Carl Sagan explored possibilities in contact. Maybe we're listening to the wrong frequencies. Maybe they use communication methods we don't understand. Maybe they're not broadcasting. Maybe they evolved beyond radio. Alternative SETI approaches are developing rapidly. Optical SETI, looking for laser communications. Infrared SETI, detecting waste heat from advanced civilizations. Gravitational wave SETI, monitoring space-time disturbances. Techno-signature science is expanding beyond traditional radio SETI. Atmospheric pollution from industrial civilizations detectable in exoplanet spectra. Artificial illumination on exoplanet night sides. Megastructure construction around stars. Carl Sagan anticipated these developments. SETI evolution from radio searches to comprehensive techno-signature science. Life elsewhere means not just biology but technology. Advanced civilizations leave detectable signatures. Modern SETI benefits enormously from exoplanet discoveries. Kepler and TESS missions have identified thousands of potentially habitable worlds. SETI can prioritize targets based on habitability assessments.